replications for that experiment, but you could try to invalidate them through natural or experimentation through coherence. And the final one is one that one of my students did. I just think it was fun. We've heard for years that lambdas were like the best thing in the world from many people. And so we were curious, right? So we decided to test just one thing, because you can only test one thing at a time. There's no replications on this to my knowledge. And I don't know of any natural experiments. Maybe they're there, or maybe there's some pieces in a couple papers here and there. But like I said, it's not as much my area of expertise. And so what we did was we thought, OK, maybe this is different across experience levels. Maybe you have to be really, really experienced with lambdas to use them correctly. Or maybe it's the case that it'll be the same. You'll get this big effect across the board. We weren't sure. So we tested freshmen in college, sophomores in college, juniors in college, and seniors in college. They learned lambdas somewhere around their junior year or so they would have known something about them. And for the professionals that we used, we got people that were like serious devs that knew something about functional programming. They were self-proclaimed experts in functional programming. They know what lambdas are, so there's no debate, right? But when you break down the data, there was no impact for the professionals. They could solve the tasks about the same amount of speed as using an iterator in C++, right? This is just, again, one language. I'm not saying C++ has the best lambdas. I think they're kind of atrocious, but that's not the point. Well, no, that's not fair. They're not atrocious. They have particular syntactic properties that I think could be improved. There, how's that? Well, it's true. I mean, like, language design is hard, and sometimes when you're trying to be general, sometimes it's easy to get too general or not general enough, and that's a difficult problem.
Lambdas versus lambdas in C++.
OK. That's a great question. And the answer is you can't, right? So this particular test only compared two things, and that's C++ lambdas and C++ iterators. So we can't necessarily say that this would be true in Java, other languages. And some languages have very different ways of handling lambdas. And in fact, they use them in different contexts, right? So like, for example, the one area that if I was to guess where lambdas could be really helpful, there's some really neat stuff they do with lambdas in the JDK for concurrency. I have no idea if this would validate in an experiment or not, but it wouldn't surprise me if there was a benefit there. It could be documented, possibly. But I could be wrong. I don't really know, because we haven't tested that particular thing. But in comparing C++ to lambdas versus iterators, we found a very, very strong negative impact for people with less experience compared to doing a similar thing with iterators. And for professionals, we found no positive impact, right? Again, it doesn't mean you should or shouldn't use lambdas. It has nothing to do with that. What it means is that there was a technical team of people that spent years and years developing a spec, and nobody did a test. Like, maybe it's a syntax problem, and they should have checked that. Or maybe, like, lambdas really don't have a benefit. That could be the case, right? At least in one particular language. But these were added all over, Java, C++, whatever.